passport, please do bear in mind that most countries do require at least 6 months validity on your passport. So if you've got less than 6 months validity on your current passport, it's best to renew it. I would probably start the renewal process perhaps with 8 months validity on it, as you want to factor in the time it's going to take to process your new passport and get it back to you. Of course, you can renew a passport sooner if you filled up all the pages with stamps, if you travel quite frequently. And just a heads up, if you're looking to apply by mail, this is only for those that live within the United States, not for American citizens that are living outside of the USA. And you need to be able to answer yes to all of the following statements about your most recent passport. That is that you can submit it with your application. It is not damaged apart from normal wear and tear. It has never been reported lost or stolen. It was issued within the last 15 years. It was issued when you were age 16 or older. It was issued in your current name, or you are able to provide another document such as a marriage certificate or divorce decree that is evidence of a name change. And it was not limited to less than the normal 10-year period of validity for an adult passport due to multiple passport thefts or losses, or due to issues with passport damage or mutilation. So if you can confidently answer yes to those aforementioned statements, you can renew your passport by mail. There are going to be 3 steps to the application process. You're going to fill in the form DS82. You will gather all of your supplementary documents and have the correct amount of money. So to get our hands on the correct form DS82, on the travel.state.gov website, we're going to go to already have a passport, and then renew my passport by mail, and then scroll down to where it says steps to renew, step 1, fill out form DS82. We're going to click on that to expand it, and then we are given 2 options to fill out the form. There's form filler and there's also the PDF. In this instance, I'm going to click on PDF to show you the form. It opens up a PDF and it does say 6 pages, but the bulk of this application is just instructions. And all you have to complete is about a page and a half worth of information. So scrolling down to page 5 is where the application begins. And I just want to draw your attention to certain things that will be helpful to you. First of all, if you're going to print this application and fill it in by pen, make sure you use black ink only. And if you make an error, complete a new form. Do not correct it. Do not use things like whiteout or any other type of solution. Here at the top it says select document or documents for which you are applying. You have here the US passport book, the US passport card, or both. And the difference between the two is that the US passport book can be used for international air travel. The US passport card cannot be used for international air travel. But it may be worthwhile going ahead and applying for a US passport card if you want an additional form of identification. And then below that, in terms of the passport book, you have 2 options. The regular book, aka the standard book, or the large book, aka non-standard. There is no price difference here. Rather, the large book is for frequent international travelers who need more visa pages. So for example, if you travel a lot for business purposes, it might be better to go for the large book to save you having to renew your passport sooner. So here, the application questions are fairly straightforward. I would always recommend having your current passport open in front of you and just verbatim copying and pasting the information in from the bio page in the passport onto the form here. Here at section 11, it says name change information. You should complete this if your name is different than your last US passport or passport card. And then you have a couple of boxes you can tick to show how your name changed, either by marriage or by court order. And be advised that you will have to submit a certified copy of one of those documents as proof. After that, it's fairly straightforward, making sure to sign where indicated and making sure you don't complete any sections where it says for issuing office only. And please make sure when you do print the form, they are on 2 separate pages. Don't print the form double-sided. And both page 5 and 6 of the application should be submitted together. Heading back to the travel.state.gov website, I want you to scroll down from section 1 to section 6, Mail Completed Application. Here it says mail your completed application including your most recent passport, name change document if applicable, photo, and fees to one of the addresses below. Where you send the application depends on where you live and how quickly you want us to process your passport. If you live in the United States, you must use the United States Postal Service to mail your renewal application and supporting documents. So here we're presented with 3 addresses to send your application or documents. So for those that want routine service and live in either California, Florida, Illinois, Minnesota, New York or Texas, you'll be mailing it to the Irving, Texas address. If you want routine service and live in any other state or in Canada, you'll be sending it to the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania address. And if you want expedited service, you need to send it to the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania address, and you must write in capital letters expedite on the outside of the mailing envelope. Now let's go to section 2 of the steps to renew. Submit your most recent US passport. When you renew by mail or in person, you must submit your most recent passport with your application. The US passport book must meet all of the requirements listed at the top of this page, and your old passport book will be returned to you, but generally it will come in a separate mailing from your new passport. Therefore, don't be surprised when you receive your new passport that your old passport is not in the same envelope. It will come in a separate package. Let's skip to section 4, provide a photo. Attach 1 photograph to the application. And to make sure you avoid any processing delays, you need to adhere to all of the photo requirements. You need to staple the photo to the application where indicated, using 4 staples vertically in the corners as close to the outer edges as possible. Do not bend the photo, and if you wear glasses, please be advised that you cannot wear eyeglasses in your passport photo unless you have a signed note from your doctor that you can include with your application. You can normally get your passport photo taken at places such as Walgreens or Walmart. Section 3, including name change documents if applicable. If the name you're currently using is different from the name on your most recent US passport, you must provide a certified copy of the legal name change document. Examples of this document include marriage certificate, divorce decree, or a court-ordered name change document. Again, much like your old passport, your name change document will be returned to you in a separate mailing from your new passport. And if you don't have any of these documents, you will have to apply in person. You cannot apply by mail. So how long does the process take for renewing your passport? Let's click on the tab at the top next to already have a passport called Get My Passport Fast. By clicking on it and then scrolling down, on the right it says currently at the time of recording, processing times are, for the routine process, 10 to 13 weeks, and that does not include mailing times. And for expedited, it's 7 to 9 weeks. And be advised that processing times only include the time your application is at one of the passport agencies or centers. The total time to get your passport includes both processing and mailing times. And it may take up to 2 weeks for applications to arrive by mail at a passport agency or center, and up to 2 weeks for you to receive a completed passport in the mail after it's printed. And you should consider the total time it will take to receive your passport when you are booking travel. This page is extremely helpful and can outline the different times depending on when you need to travel. And there are options for emergencies, urgent travel, expedited, and routine. So it's well worth perusing this page. Once again, I'll put a direct link to this page in the description box below for you. So what's going to be the cost for this passport renewal? Heading back to the Renew by Mail page and scrolling down to section 5, Calculate Fees. And by clicking on Expand, we can see that the fees can be paid by either a personal check or a money order. When filling in either your check or money order, make sure you print your name and date of birth on the front of it, and it will be payable to the US Department of State. Again, at the time of this recording, the passport book is $130. A passport card is $30, and if you opt for both, it's $160. These are the prices for routine service. Expedited service costs an additional $60 on top. And whatever you do, do not send cash. And at this moment in time, there is no method to pay online for passport services. Let's click on passport fees to get further information. Once we get to passport fees, we're going to click on Fee Calculator. This is going to make sure that you pay the exact amount for the passport service that you're looking for. Here you can fill in some information about yourself to give you a bespoke answer about the fees for your application. So here I'll just put in some random information and we'll be able to show you what it can generate for us. So where do you currently reside? We'll go for United States. What is your date of birth? I'll just pick a random date. And have you ever had a US passport? Because this video is about the renewal of a US passport, I'm going to go ahead and click on yes. Do you still have the passport in your possession? We'll click on yes. And is the passport damaged or mutilated? We'll click no. Are you replacing a limited validity passport? If you're not sure what a limited validity passport is, we can hover over the I where it says a limited validity passport describes any passport issued with less than full 10-year validity for those 16 years and older and less than 5-year validity for those under age 16. For this scenario, I'm going to click on no. What is the issuance date of your passport? So the fictitious date for the issuance of this passport is, and then do you require any changes or corrections to what is currently printed on your passport? In this one, I just want a very standard renewal, no change from what's on my current passport and what I want on my new passport. So I'm going to click on no and then hit next. And then here it asks, what products am I applying for? I'm just going to apply for a passport booklet only in this instance. So I'll click on book. And then would you like to add a passport card for an additional $30? Again, for now, we'll just stick with a book. So I'll click on no. And it has now populated a tailor-made processing method for my own application and fees attributed to it. So here it says standard, no additional fees. The processing time is 10 to 13 weeks. And again, remember, processing times begin the day we receive your application at a passport agency or center and does not include mailing times, which may add several weeks onto the door-to-door time it takes to receive your passport. And if I want to expedite the application, I have to pay an additional $60 on top, and the timeline is 7 to 9 weeks. So here I'm just going to go ahead with the standard method, so I'm going to select that. And you'll see here at the bottom, it expands further. And now it asks me about delivery options. I have standard delivery, which again has no additional fees, and the delivery is by USPS priority mail for the new passport book, and documents may be returned by first class mail. So that's the additional documents if you have any others to provide, as well as your current passport. Or I can opt for the 1 to 2 day delivery, which costs an additional $19.53, and the delivery costs for the new passport book. Once again, the supporting documents are going to be returned by first class mail. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just opt for standard delivery and then click on calculate. And very helpfully, everything is itemized. So once again, the passport book is $130. I'm just opting for standard processing and standard delivery, so there is no additional charge for either processing or delivery. The total payable to Department of State is $130. I will pay the US Department of State either by way of check or money order $130 at the time of this recording. And now when it comes to mail, once again, don't forget you're going to use the USPS trackable method. When you go to the post office, ask the customer assistant there for a tracking number. They should be able to provide that for you, as it's a fairly routine service. Please do not use courier services like FedEx, for example. And once again, if you are opting to expedite, write expedite in capital letters on the outside of the envelope. Also, when you're mailing your application and additional documents, mail them in an envelope large enough so that they don't have to be bent, which could potentially compromise your application or photo. Oh, and one more thing, your new passport